Deciphering Textile and Apparel Imports. Regulatory Insights. Welcome back to our channel, where we provide valuable insights into the world of customs brokerage and international trade. In today's video, we will explore the specific regulations for importing textiles and apparel. Importing textiles and apparel requires compliance with certain regulations to ensure product safety, fair trade practices, and adherence to customs procedures. So, let's dive right in and understand the key regulations to keep in mind. Harmonized System (HS) codes. The Harmonized System (HS) is an internationally recognized system for classifying products. Importers must accurately determine the HS codes for their textile and apparel products. HS codes provide the basis for assessing duties, taxes, and regulatory requirements. Textile labeling. Imported textiles and apparel must comply with labeling requirements specified by the Federal Trade Commission, FTC. Labels must include information such as fiber content, country of origin, care instructions, and identification of the manufacturer or responsible party. Trade agreements. Certain textile and apparel imports may be eligible for preferential treatment under trade agreements such as the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, or the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA. Importers should review the specific rules of origin and documentation requirements to claim preferential tariff rates. Restricted and prohibited items. Certain textiles and apparel products may be subject to restrictions or prohibitions due to health, safety, or environmental concerns. For example, items made with certain animal skins or furs may be subject to import restrictions. Importers should consult with customs authorities to ensure compliance with such restrictions. Quota restrictions. Historically, quotas were imposed on specific categories of textile and apparel products to limit the quantity of imports. While global quotas have largely been phased out, some products may still be subject to import restrictions. Importers should review specific quota requirements, if applicable. Textile and apparel testing. Textiles and apparel may need to undergo compliance testing to ensure they meet specific safety and performance standards. These standards may include flammability testing, color fastness, and physical or chemical properties testing. Importers should be aware of these requirements and obtain appropriate testing certificates. Intellectual property rights (IPR). Importers of textiles and apparel should ensure that they are not importing counterfeit or unauthorized copies of branded products. Proper due diligence, sourcing from legitimate manufacturers, and obtaining necessary authorization or licensing agreements are crucial to comply with intellectual property rights regulations. Customs documentation. Accurate and complete customs documentation is crucial when importing textiles and apparel. This includes the bill of lading, commercial invoice, packing list, and any specific certificates or licenses required for the importation of certain textile and apparel products. Anti-dumping and countervailing duties (AD, CVD). Certain textile and apparel products may be subject to anti-dumping or countervailing duties to protect domestic industries from unfair competition. Importers should be aware of any such duties and understand their obligations and potential additional costs. Textile verification. Customs authorities may conduct textile verification procedures, also known as fabric and yarn verification, to ensure that textile products comply with the claimed fiber content and origin. Importers should be prepared to provide the necessary documentation and samples for verification purposes. Customs valuation. Importers must declare the correct value of the imported textiles and apparel products for customs valuation purposes. It is important to include all costs associated with the purchase, such as the cost of the product, freight charges, insurance, and any applicable royalties or license fees. Intellectual property rights (IPR). Recordation. Importers can voluntarily record their registered trademarks, copyrights, and patent rights with U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP). This recordation helps CBP identify and prevent the importation of counterfeit goods that infringe upon intellectual property rights. Country of origin. Labeling. Textiles and apparel imported into the USA should be properly labeled with their country of origin. This requirement helps consumers and customs authorities identify the origin of the product and ensures compliance with labeling regulations. Textile and apparel quota categories for certain textiles and apparel products, such as those originating from China. There may be specific quota categories in place. Importers should be aware of these categories and ensure compliance with any applicable quantity or volume restrictions. Customs bond requirements. Depending on the value and nature of the imported textiles and apparel, importers may be required to obtain a customs bond. A customs bond serves as a financial guarantee to ensure compliance with customs regulations and payment of duties, taxes, and penalties. Record-keeping importers of textiles and apparel must maintain accurate and complete records of their import transactions. These records should include all relevant documentation, such as invoices, shipping documents, and customs declarations, and should be retained for a specified period of time as required by customs regulations. Post-clearance audits. Customs authorities may conduct post-clearance audits to verify the accuracy and compliance of import declarations for textiles and apparel. It is important to maintain proper records and documentation to facilitate these audits. Broker assistance. Working with a customs broker who specializes in textiles and apparel imports can be beneficial. Customs brokers have expertise in navigating the complex customs regulations and can assist importers in ensuring compliance, providing guidance on requirements, and expediting the clearance process. Continuous monitoring and compliance. Regulations related to importing textiles and apparel are subject to change. Importers should stay informed about any new regulations, updates, or changes to ensure ongoing compliance with customs requirements. In this video, we explored the specific regulations for importing textiles and apparel into the USA. Adhering to these regulations ensures compliance, protects intellectual property rights, and keeps consumers safe. Importers should familiarize themselves with the relevant regulations, work alongside customs brokers, and maintain accurate records to facilitate the smooth and efficient importation of textiles and apparel. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative videos on customs brokerage and international trade.